Hi everyone, it's Yingsu here, and I'm joined by AYRIN from XSET, all the way from North America. Hi, thank you for joining me today. I gotta say, first of all, congratulations on winning the title over in North America. I wanted to ask you about the narratives behind this title win because everyone said that this was an upset, that you guys pulled off a big upset to win. Do you feel that way? Is that how you see it?
Thank you so much for having me. The first time we played them, we thought we had them in the bag for sure. We kind of slipped up a little bit in that first matchup, and then the second matchup in the grand finals, you can't call it an upset because they are the world champions. But at the end of the day, we won the title, so that's what's important to us.
In terms of winning that title, again, looking ahead to Masters Copenhagen, the guard, last time they were in your position, they won the title. People were very excited to see them. They skipped group stage, but then it didn't work out too well for them. So, what do you think you need to do to kind of avoid a similar fate that other people think that you might run into this time?
The difference between us and the guard is that we were talking about this the other day that me, Def, and Brendan have played in majors in other games. So this is our second major, not second major, but second major in the second game. But we've all played at a bunch of different majors from different games, and we have much more experience in the guard. But I want to add on to that is the fact that you could be doing God's work, and people have something to say about it, right? Like we were fourth place, hard stuck fourth place for a couple months. You're stuck fourth place. You get third place, and then people are saying that they got lucky, they're gonna lose, and then it never stops. So like no matter what you do, people are gonna have things to say about you. We're not really concerned about the curse, but I think we gained some fans this weekend for sure.
How do you see yourselves then? Like you said, other people always seem to put you in a box or label you guys.
Yeah.
How would you describe your team?
Would describe our team as the hardest working team in the region. We worked super, super, super hard this season, and every single person put in an absurd amount of work. I don't think that people know what goes on behind the scenes, and that's just how I guess it works in professional esports.
Yeah, a lot of our teams over here in EU also suffer a similar narrative, I would say. I can definitely relate to that. When it comes to you, though, when I think of Exit, I feel like I just always think of you because maybe how long you've been there and how many iterations you kind of like stuck it out with this team and this roster. How tough has it been for you personally, to be on a team for so long and like you said, to always kind of at one point always be finishing fourth and then third and then not qualifying for LAN? It must be great to qualify finally, but it must have been also really hard to still stay with a team and you couldn't really go to the international events.
Yeah, we had multiple chances. Let me count. We had once qualified for Iceland qualifier, and then Berlin, and then LCQ. So that's four events in the last year where we had a chance to qualify. But it's a hard region. There's only two spots recently for to go to international lands, and it's not easy. It's a hard region, so we're always close. And like you said, it's always heartbreaking at the very end. But to know that we're getting better and better every stage, and then finally, like you said, that we're able to actually become an international competitor, it just feels even better than if we just got it the first try because it just seems like all our hard work came together at the right time.
What was the reason for you to stick around? Because I'm sure you could have gone to a different team, right? Maybe in the back of your mind you think, maybe if I leave, I could achieve better. I know a lot of other players probably go through that similar mindset as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but that, like you just said, that happens a lot to many players, right? But the difference, I guess, for me is that I felt like I had a really big belief in our coach because I've been working with him since the beginning. Psycho, he's been a phenomenal asset to the team, the organization, um, and just the players. Every single player that's gone through the doors of Exit Valorant, I've met them, I've lived with them because I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's at the house all the time, always in the living room. So I get to meet the guys, and I realize that these are the people that I want to play with, and it just worked out that we're we're amazing. We're fucking amazing.
Yeah, you guys are doing super well. I'm very happy that you managed to qualify. When it comes to Copenhagen, I know you mentioned Psycho there. He told me a little story about the fact that Denmark has a very special place in your heart. So, would you be able to tell me a little bit how you're related to Copenhagen?
Oh yeah, so when I did, I have a dual master's degree, and then I did a year in Europe. So I did 4 months in Copenhagen, 3 years ago this time, and then I did 4 or 5 months in Ireland. And when I joined this team, I told this team that, if we ever qualified for a big event, we'd go celebrate in Copenhagen. It's just, I think it's just a gorgeous city. That's wonderful people. And, the stars are just aligning. And I'm just going back to where I studied. I'm going back to my favorite city. It's just going to be a great event, I think.
They wrote the script for you. What was your
Yeah.
reaction when you found out that this Masters was going to be in Copenhagen? When you were like, oh, guys, we have to qualify for this one. This is the one we have to go to.
Yeah, I mean, I think we joked around a little bit, but I think I played it really, really good this stage compared to last stage, or much better, I'd say. And maybe it's my inner self saying, like, come on, you have to win. So maybe that's a little bit what happened. Maybe I wanted to win a bit more this stage, and I think it showed.
It's gonna be nice for you to show everyone around, I guess. You know where you're going, like all the good places to eat and stuff. What are you most looking forward to doing besides competing when you get to Copenhagen?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to say that competing is number one for sure. We're trying to win the event, yeah. But I mean, it's a beautiful city by the water. I'm looking forward to getting on a boat with friends and just cruising around the canals. It's a beautiful place. And July, the best part is that July is the best time to go to Copenhagen in the year. So I'm really excited for all the talent. I'm excited for everyone that gets to see the city because it's just, I think it's really lovely.
I like how you go outside. You touch grass. You've actually been outside. Your teammate, actually, some of your teammates, not specifically like any one of your teammates. We've seen some trash talking, right? We've heard some trash talk. We've seen some a little bit of banter here going back and forth. I know you're probably not the type to maybe trash talk, but if I gave you the opportunity right now to maybe say something to other teams, other players, other regions, is there anything you want to say?
That's a hard question.
You can go in hard if you want. It's okay. We can take it.
I'm trying to reel it back a bit because Brendan has been reeling a shitstorm.
No, it's good. Like, we need that before a tournament, like as much as everybody is very friendly to each other and it's a competition, we want the entertainment. It's entertainment at the end of the day. I love it.
Thanks for a second. I gotta be careful. Wait, when you ask this question to other people, do they answer instantly?
It depends on who it is. I've had quite a variety. I've had the, NA are shit. They're a farmers league. Can't wait to send them home to an airport. And I've also had the, oh no, I don't want to trash talk. Like, we're all friends. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing X, Y, and Z. It's been on like a spectrum. So maybe you can tell me where you sit on the spectrum when it comes to looking at your competitors. Are you more of like, everyone is trash, or are you more of like, oh, I respect everybody?
Oh my goodness, I've never get stuck in interviews, but this is really funny. I think for me personally, I think it doesn't really matter who we play. I think going into the event, before we go on stage, I just wipe it from my memory who we're playing. It's just you're another target on the screen that needs to be owned. So I think I'm leaning towards people are actually, not that good. But like you said, I have respect for the players on the other team. But when we're getting the server, they're trash.
There's going to be a lot of players you've never played against before. Are there any teams and players that you're looking forward to playing?
I think we definitely want to play DRX because Brendan was talking a lot about DRX. He wants to play them. We want to play them. I think the coach wants to play against Paper X because they have a really cool play style. I'm really hoping personally that we get to play all the regions. I want to play EU later in the tournament because EU I think is a great region, but I also think that their playstyle and our playstyle is the most similar when it comes across the board. So I'd really like to play an international team or like an Asian team or a Brazilian team to see what it's like playing those guys before we get to play Europe.
Well, what are your personal expectations? Obviously, you guys get to skip groups, so you cannot like bomb out of the tournament. But where would you say realistically you guys are aiming for? Obviously, winning the trophy, I think every team would aim for that. But for example, would you be disappointed if you came second?
I mean, there's going to be a certain level of disappointment for sure for coming second, but the way I view it, and I think a lot of people don't view it this way, is that we beat Optic 3-1. And they beat us 3-1 the week before. So we beat the reigning world champions. And yes, they had COVID. So they probably were not at their peak potential. But however, it goes to show that even if they are better than us, we are still in that realm of being a top team, in the world if we can beat them that fluidly. So it's really weird to see people like, think of us as a team that's just, we're the first seed of North America and we're there to prove it for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, North American team currently has the trophy, so I think the region really speaks for itself, right? The fact that, like you said, you were able to beat the reigning world champions. You mentioned the difference and the similarities in playstyle and things like that. I think Astra is one of the agents. I can't believe that I'm kind of pointing more towards North America. I think in the past,
Yeah.
after the nerf, everyone's like, "Oh, we can't do it anymore." But why do you think so many teams are still running Astra in your region?
I feel like in North America recently, there's been a ridiculous amount of focus on grouping up and playing with comps like Breach. So like setting up trap plays and making sure you play a very, very tight defense. And I feel like Astra, when you mix Astra with Breach, it's a very effective tool. And I think it's comfortability, right? I just think that, when a certain team dominates in scrims, whoever that may be, let's use an example. Let's say Ghost Gaming dominates with this comp, and it just spreads across the region because Astra's great for them. But that's also a bad point, right? It's like just because someone's good with it doesn't mean everyone should be using it.
Yeah, so degree of comfortability, I guess, whatever you
Yeah.
guys are comfortable with. For you, though, it does look like you're comfortable with a lot of the agents. I think it's more it's almost to a point where you're comfortable with more agents than you're not, at least in officials, what we've been seeing. You've been playing basically everyone.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference yourself? And also, how have you seen kind of the evolution of your agent pool as well since the start of the game?
Well, last stage was a bit, not boring, but annoying to play, Viper across every single map because it just feels a bit repetitive. Yeah, and this stage it's ridiculous because I get to play so many different agents, and it's amazing because you always have to learn so much more to play each agent. It's not like you can just play an agent half-ass. Your team relies you to play it, at like the best player on the server. So it's just a lot more hard work, and it's a lot more fun because it feels like the game is actually advancing to a point where it feels like every player needs to be able to play multiple agents, and that's how I kind of envision the game would end up being. And I think it's just so much more exciting that way. You can't just have someone lock in one character and everyone locks in one character and that's it. I think that's ridiculously boring.
You're gonna love FPX if you ever play against FPX. They're very much at the mindset of that between every official, their players should change up agents. Really, they don't believe in running the same comp like more than 2-3 times, which is a very crazy strategy, but it's working. They've qualified. But I also want to ask about the map pool because obviously going into this tournament, Split is out of the queue on the clients. I've already heard some pros talk about how it's going to be a little bit difficult to even prac Split because for the teams that aren't going to Masters, like there's no need really for them to play Split unless they're
Yeah.
attending LCQ. First of all, what do you make of the fact that that's been removed? And also, do you think that you guys will run into any difficulties of even playing Split at Masters?
I think Split is slowly becoming out of style. I think that's one of the reasons that Riot decided to move Split out of the circuit. We're really good at Split. We love Split a
Yeah.
lot. So we're a bit upset about that. But I think we'll have one last bang at Masters 2 here. Any team that wants to play Split, we'll be ready to play it.
Are you concerned at all? Because, like I said, it's going to be difficult to find pracs on Split. The teams might just opt not to play it, which is a pretty good strategy against you, right? They could just ban it away from you.
Oh, 100%. But if they don't have practice, then if we don't have practice on Split, they don't have practice on Split as well. So I think that's a very nice playground to be even. They can ban Split, but I think our map pool is quite good. I don't think we're bad on many maps at all.
Yeah, your map pool is very, very strong coming into this. I think you, Loud, Fnatic, all of you guys have an extremely strong map pool, which comes down to my last question, the $1 million question. In your point of view, what do you think makes a winning team? What is the recipe, the secret, whatever it is, for a team to actually be able to win international trophies from your personal experience in other games and also seeing the teams that have already won in this game?
The most important thing is teamwork, right? It's camaraderie. It's actually believing that you believe genuinely that the people on the team or the players needed to win the championship. And it's all comes down, it's a mixture of trust and having fun as well. It's you have to really buy into the system. You can't half-ass it. And I think the reason why we were able to, be such a consistent team the last 2 years is we were one of the first North American teams to buy or rent a gaming house, and we've had this house since early of last year. And it just feels like our coach and our management puts a massive focus on, putting people together that they like. And I think if you don't like what you do or who you play with, it's hard. I mean, like if I play with you and I don't like you every day, it's gonna be quite hard on my mental, right?
Do you, in which case I'll ask one last follow-up because it's interesting that you point out that. Do you feel like there are teams where maybe that you see aren't putting in the work that, like you said, are half-assing this and that is why they're not being successful?
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of pros across the world that are not. I feel like are not putting in 150%, and it's not me to judge them. And I also, I want to ask you a question. I was curious to why so many EU teams don't boot camp for qualification matches.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think most of them do, but some of them don't because they're either in a good enough position that they feel like they don't need to. Also, COVID, also expensive. Also, in EU visas. For example, if you're a Turkish player on a team of EU players, in order for you to go boot camp in another country, you need to get a visa. So it's like in North America, I think it's a little bit simpler that you can just all fly
Yeah.
to one city. In EU is like 10 million different problems that you have to solve as an org. And then even then, if you don't qualify, is like the investment that you're putting in, it does feel like it's not as worthy maybe as the outcome that you can get. I'm not sure. I'm with you. I feel like a lot more teams should be boot camping a bit more. But after seeing players like not being able to get visas and stuff and getting COVID when they're traveling, I think everyone's just very cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair game. Okay.
It's okay. You can come and lecture us if you ever spot any lazy players in our region, call them out because I feel
No,
you.
no, because like I was just thinking like because I saw your boyfriend shaking his ass on the camera, and I was
Yeah.
like, that would have been even more funny if all his teammates were there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Are you guys got any celebrations planned on stage? Any ass shakers from your team?
No, no, no. Who are PG-13? No ass shaking.
Okay, I like that. I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and for taking the time to speak to me. And I'll see you in Copenhagen.
Yeah, I'll see you around. Thank you.